Good morning everyone. Hello, welcome to my channel. So today's video is just to share with you some parcels that have arrived in the mail. I've done a little bit of Christmas shopping for myself. This particular parcel here I will show you first. I've got a book to show you, some patterns to show you, and some advent calendars to show you. Okay, let's start. This little collection here, plus this piece of old quilt, is from Doll's House. The Doll's House. So Deborah, who is on Etsy, lulworthblue, I'll leave the card there. I'll put a link to her store in the description, but I'm sure you're all pretty familiar with Debbie's products. She has just gorgeous curation of vintage bits and bobs. They come from the UK, and I haven't shopped with her for a little while, and I was looking at her site and I thought, you know what, that's what I want for Christmas. Oh look, there's a little feather coming through. Oh my goodness, not that it's even a feather quilt. So that little feather has come from somewhere in Deborah's stash of a feather something. Just gorgeous. So I've got this little piece. This was sitting under one of the packs. Now I think I ordered 4 packs and I've mushed them all together because I'm packing for my up and coming trip to Sydney to Green Door Studio to meet finally the wonderful Rachel, Sarah and Juju as part of their course they're offering, some Christmas stitching. And quite a few other YouTube lasses will be there, so it'll be really fun to hang with everyone. So come on, Fudgy, come puss. Fudgy's been napping and now I've disturbed him, so I'm sure he will come and join the party. There's a bit of vintage log cabin. Isn't it gorgeous? Just love it. That was probably what drew me to her site. I saw, look at the back of this. I saw this listed and I was like, yeah, I love that. I'm always looking for vintage pieces of quilt to work into my projects. So those two. And then these are some little packs. There were bigger pieces of fabric with little bits laying on top. I've unpacked them all. I think I ordered 4 things. One was a box full of treasures, and then 2 fabric packs, and then the piece here. And this had pieces of fabric lying on. Anyway, if you go to Debbie's site, you will see, you know, everything there, and it changes all the time. So what am I up to with all this? Well, 2 reasons why I went looking is I plan to do a project in the coming year that is a quilt based on Beck's Gosling Quilt, which I'll show you in a moment because the template and instructions have arrived. And what I'd like to do is use some of my vintage textiles that I got from my Paris trip. I haven't dug into those for a little while. So just to build the, I guess, the stash a little, I decided to order some bits and bobs. And these were some of the little packs. Isn't that just gorgeous? She pinned that one together. Now, some of these are too small to use in the quilt, but they'll be perfect for my trip to see the girls at Green Door Studio because they're Christmas tones. So if anything, it's helped me with a colour palette. So I've unpacked it, sorted it by size, and now I have some little itty bitty bits that can go down to Sydney with me and some bigger bits that I can use in the up and coming quilt. So I just thought I'd show you them before they disappear into the abyss of my room. There's newer textiles in this one, but this one's got a bit of a Christmas feel. And then there was a little thread. So those are packed and ready to go down south. This is a little piece of English paper piecing vintage quilt. Isn't that gorgeous? It's not English paper piecing, that's just hand quilted together. And that's the big question that I'm considering what to do with the Gosling quilt. I'd like to think I could hand do it, but maybe that's too much for me and I might drag out the sewing machine. Stay tuned. Grandest of ideas, but we will see. Look at these vintage yo-yos. Little red one. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look how faded that is. Oh my goodness, if only they could tell a story. So this is all the little lacy bits that were sitting on top of all of those fabricy bits. Do you like my technical speech? So I bundled them up. It'll be so nice just to have some different things that's beautiful, to stitch with too, instead of having the same. So we'll be getting a kit with our stitching. If you're wondering what these retreats are all about, the tutors will give you, everything you need to work with, but it'll be not, and the bit that I love is it's all different to what I would normally work with. So if anything, having this little cluster of goodies is just, I guess, giving me a bit of a holiday from my world. So they're going with me to Green Door Studio. This little box, I haven't actually explored. Oh, yes, I did. See, I wasn't going to open it. I was going to wait until you guys saw everything in it, but I ended up doing it because I was impatient. I was actually waiting for a book to arrive. This all came to me about 10 days ago, and aren't these gorgeous? Something different. See, they're just buttons that I don't see. There's some old girls in there. So that, and then some little cabinet cards. Some gorgeous little bits and pieces also in there. So I love the tin. Look at the pussycat and the puppy dog. So that's just cute. Little mushroom too was in amongst it all. So that's the goodies that I got from Debbie. Now, let me show you this. This I got, you'll see this when you're watching the filming of my Christmas panel. I've been so busy stitching and that. Oh my goodness, hours of work. Whose bright idea was it to do seed stitch in the background? And all of that had to be done before I could advance it further, because once you start putting all those decorative elements onto the piece, you're sort of manhandling it a lot. So to get the background done was needing to be done, and I have spent days at it. But anyway, I'm trying to get some pre-recording done because I'll be away, oh gosh, at least 2 weeks, and then Christmas is on top of us. So the month of December is just, oh my goodness. And I'm going still to my dad's farm and packing the house, and that's mainly done now, but I'm now in the hay shed. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, it's just so much work. So that's why my videos are a bit sparse, and they will be for a little while until the dust settles. Literally the dust settles. In a hay shed, the dust. Oh, wow, the dust. But this little container I found in Mum's sewing room, and I just love it. I remember it as a kid. Just gorgeous. Is it Ambassador? Toffees. Embassy, is it? Is that a Y? Yeah, Embassy toffees. Isn't it gorgeous? And these woman beads, which have just spilt again, you'll watch the video, the Christmas panel, and the beads go everywhere, and they've just done it again. Seriously, these are my Fleur Woods beads. They were, help yourself to a big container of them, so I got a little cluster of them. And then while I was filming the Christmas panel, I've undone this stack of beads the wrong way, and they've gone blooming everywhere. You'll see it, you'll laugh. It's funny. I think it's this Friday's video. So the closest thing I could grab was this container because it was sitting on my desk. So those things are still in there causing me grief. All right, So Be. Beck from So Be Curated has got a quilt, and I sent her a message and said, am I able to show everyone the Gosling quilt that I'm considering doing? Well, I'm going to do it. It's how I do it is going to be the big challenge. And she was like, oh, yes, no problems. Now, Beck's store is in Newcastle, and we're planning on a small little detour in Sydney to Newcastle to have a look at the store. And unfortunately, I won't get to see Beck because she's currently on holidays in Japan. I just watched one of her Japanese holiday videos this morning. So now these fabrics are the bigger pieces that I've pulled out ready for that quilt. Some of them won't make it in, like I don't really want to bring in pinks, but I don't know. I don't want to limit myself at this stage, and I plan to use some Lucello fabrics I have, vintage fabrics that I have, and then some embroideries in amongst it, which I'm thinking I might actually have to hand stitch because it's just so hard to find doilies these days. And if it's a certain colour scheme, I just won't have the freedom to add doilies that I find. It'll take me years to thrift doilies in these tones, pinks and reds with a little bit of blue is what I'm thinking. So I suspect, aren't these just gorgeous? This just saves me flying to France and getting fabric when I just need little pieces. And I thought, what better way to preserve these gorgeous fabrics is into a quilt. So that's the plan. I'm slowly gathering. Look at the little bird piece. Just gorgeous. Maybe I'll have to bring in a pop of yellow. I don't know. We'll see. Just gorgeous. All right, so that's a small collection of vintage antique fabrics for my Gosling quilt. I'm yet to go through my own stash, but I thought this little pink box at the moment is going to be where everything's kept, and they came out of the Deborah packs. So what do you get with a Gosling quilt? Well, I've read the instructions from cover to back. Very simple. Excuse me. Straightforward. Should be fine. I haven't made a quilt for quite a few years, so I've been watching all sorts of quilt videos to get myself, you know, back into that headspace. The only thing is, back in the day, I used to whip them out on sewing machine. So I'd really, really like to go down the track of, putting it together. Beck suggests 2 ways of doing it, which is fantastic. We'll go into more detail at a later date. But if you are considering getting one of Beck's quilts, I'd highly recommend it because the instructions are really good. So if you're a beginner, I think you could handle it, especially with what's out on YouTube, in understanding, processes. So what I've been doing, you might be wondering why these are out. I've been going around looking at my fabrics. So the hexagon is very much a big part of the quilt. So when I curate my fabrics, this has been invaluable because I can frame it and go, yeah, you're in. You're one of the feature pieces within the quilt. So I'm loving this picture window frame. It's all part of the process that you use, but it certainly is making it easy to work out if a piece is going to be in or not. Oh, that'd be a very scant edge, but it might be workable. Look at that. Just gorgeous. So I'm loving this. I'm so pleased I've got it. So I'll just pop my fabric back in there. And then the instructions themselves, like I said, are really good. There's templates if you want to do the English paper piecing style of things. There is the acrylic plates. It's, yeah, really good. Congratulations, Beck. Awesome. The Gosling, there's the wall of curiosities. Oh, I can't wait to visit your store, Beck. I hope you're having a lovely time in Japan. I know you're having a lovely time in Japan. I don't know about that bicycle riding business. That'd be way too much for me. Gosling Quilt. Hello, hello. Isn't it just gorgeous? I like when I look at this quilt, my head just spins all over the place because you don't see the pattern, obviously. Does that make sense? You know, a lot of quilts, they're very pattern orientated. I like how Beck's quilts are, I guess, interesting because not only is there a pattern repeating in there, there's also these pops of visual stimulation. How do you describe it? It's a fabricy person trying to explain to you what I see in my head. That's why I'm really drawn to Beck's quilts. And the fact that colour scheme wise, once you work out your, I guess, window of colours that you like, then you go for it with the quilt. It is going to literally evolve. So that's just, I guess, my gut feeling I get from the book, the quilt. So I won't go into too much detail at this stage because, you know, it's still percolating in my mind. But as you can see by the little booklet, it's fantastic. And even the sizing to help how big you want to make your quilt. King size beds, single beds. Beck shows you how many blocks you need. So yeah, if you are considering it, highly recommend doing it. It just, yeah, I can't wait. Now that I know I've got something gorgeous to do with my antique fabrics again, I've made lots of little projects, but I really want to, you know, use them in something that's, you know, a little bit more special. And then to have Deborah's products to sort of help me, I think is going to be, yeah, it'll get me over the line. Plus I do have my up and coming trip to America, so maybe I'll find some things there. I don't know. Anyway, the good thing about a quilt, a hand piece quilt, is it's going to take time, and yeah, it can grow with me. Now the next thing I want to show you is this. Let me zoom up a little bit. Now I've been hypothesizing about Beck's Gosling Quilt in quite a few videos that I was considering it, and I thought, well, if I'm going to see it in real life, I'll have a good look at it and then maybe buy the pattern. Well, after hypothesizing a lot, I end up ordering the pattern anyway, and the bonus is I get to see it in real life when I get down to her store. Now, in the comments on a few of the videos, a lot of you recommended this to me as an option of, I guess, learning a heap of these different blocks. So I've never really gone into this world of quilting. I've skirted around it. I'll show you a quilt in a moment at the end of the video that's come back from the farm. I gifted it to my mum, and it was in on their bed for years, and then in the caravan. And as soon as I opened up the caravan to see, you know, what I needed to do in there, oh, there it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at you. So it's now back with me. It's been laundered, and it's, I guess, a snapshot of the quilting that I used to do. This is classic quilting, more so than what I used to do. So there's a lot of technique here, and I think I must have voiced that with you, and quite a few of you said, oh my gosh, you need to get your hands on this book, because if we're going to learn, I guess, some classic stitches, boy, I'm impressed with this. So what you can do if you want to make this quilt is it tells you all of the fabrics you need from the Liberty range. Now I've got a very small collection of Liberty fabrics, very, very small. I'm not saying yet that I'm going to do a quilt that is Liberty, but maybe I could pick a block and actually learn something new next year. That's sort of where my head's at. Not sure if I'll do it or not, but you know, the theory's there. So let me just give you a bit of an idea of what this is about. So there's a heap of blocks in this book, 100. And each block is a page. So some go to 2 pages, but it shows you the fabrics that are used and then the technique to put it together, and the name of the block, rail fence. Now, I've seen these in quilts, and I've often wondered, I wonder how they step that together. Well, this shows you exactly how to produce it. 1, 2, 3, 4, beautiful. So I'm pretty impressed with this. And to be honest, you could probably do a block a month and you'd have a quilt in no time. Not all blocks, you know, take my fancy. I've done a lot of these on the machine plus hand sewing. I'm a bit of a fan of log cabins. But I will flip through this. So if you're interested in learning some blocks, look at that. It's the Liberty fabrics too. They're just adorable. And then look, do this, this, arrange. Like, how simple is that? So for all of the girls out there that said, Corrine, you need to check out Alice's Wonderland sampler quilt, 100 quilt blocks, Alice Caroline. Oh my goodness, I've been following her on Instagram as well. So I've been binge catching up on her world, and boy, clever. But I'd have to say, this is one of the best tuition block books I have seen. I'll speed up a little bit. Oh, baby bud. Yeah, and the thing is, on the quilt, like, there's random ones that bring in applique. There's English paper piecing, and then there's these classic stitch on a machine and, you know, cut and reassemble. Monkey wrench. I did not know that they all had these names. Well, I sort of did, but I didn't know the names. Unless, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I don't know the history of quilting, whether that is a name that Alison's created for that creation of hers. I know log cabin's been around a while. That is the bit I don't know. How true is it to the actual name from history? I'm not sure. Maybe you can tell me in the, like, Whirlwind. Is that Whirlwind, or is this a Caroline name for her creation of that block? I don't know. I've dabbled in quilting. I'm not an expert in quilting, but I'd sort of like to apply the slow stitch world to it and then Corrinify it. Does that make sense? Look at them all. Look at them all. We're only at block 38. Gosh. If there was some in here that you love, let's say you picked 6 that you loved, flying geese, 6 that you loved, and then you repeated them, you'd have a quilt. You don't have to do the whole 100 of them. Flying geese, I didn't know they existed until I was watching Kate. And I was like, oh, I've seen that design. I didn't know they were called flying geese. And then there's versions of the flying goose. Isn't it just... So we've sort of gone through the book and now been introduced to a new technique, or a famous block, if you will. And then there's versions of that. Now we're getting into this curving, piecing curves into your pieces. Oh my goodness. That looks treacherous. Never tried that. Should be interesting. Templates. Combinations of different ones. Oh. Is that really called rob Peter to pay Paul? Like, this is where I'm a bit confused. I haven't Googled that to see if hundreds of those blocks turn up, or this is a an Alice. Sorry, Alice is her first name, Alice Caroline. If that's an actual name for a block, I don't know. Gosh, this is a bit of a rabbit hole, isn't it? So as you can see, okay, we started a new technique, English paper piecing. So now the next few blocks is all about English paper piecing. I saw the, which one was it? Dresden? I might have passed it already. That was on Catherine K3N's site, so I was watching her make that a couple of weeks back. Grandmother's fan. Wasn't it called a Dresden plate or something? So I'm pretty sure it is in here. Look at that. Clever. Clever. See, these are the ones that sort of catch my eye. The Dresden plate. These ones sort of catch my eye a little bit because it's mixing it up. It's not just the same block stitched over and over and over. I'm sorry, but Corrine would have lost interest by then. Now we're getting into the templates. As we get to applique. Did we pass applique? Raw edge applique. So see what I mean by there's different techniques worked through. Look at the strawberries. Look, Beck's strawberries. Yeah, as you work through all of them, you will experience different techniques within the world of quilting. That's what I'm trying to articulate here. And there she is. Then you get down to the borders and the sashing and building up the, surround of your quilt, the binding of it. So if you're a newbie and you want to have a little play, gosh, this would be one that I'd recommend for your library, guys. Luckily, Beck's instructions gives you that detail that I'm going to need to, the steps I need to do to create a block. Thank goodness. Some of them I've bought in the past when I've got them, I'm like, oh, I don't know where to start. They're just lacking information. All right, now the next thing I want to say is the Roxy Journal of Stitchery. So as you've noticed, I've slowed down on my videos for the project. Couple of reasons. I'm a busy girl and Santa is really creating a lot of work for me at the moment. As you know, too, I have Christmas shops and we are so busy. So there's lots of things to do with my business. So November, December is always a bit of a challenge for me. Throw in there a farm to tidy up and prepare for sale. And then when I looked at my Edith Holden tribute journal, I realised that I've only got the one page left. So what I decided to do is I'm waiting for the final prompt and then I'm going to combine them all together. In the meantime, I've been grabbing things and just putting them to one side as potential bits and bobs to use. So there's berries, a critter, visiting was another prompt. There's a napkin, a Christmas napkin. That sort of covered those two prompts as well. So I guess wait for the next reveal of prompt. And after I get back from Sydney, I'll pick this project up again. Oh, that was another one I found. I think I was filming the To Be Just Because quilt. And this came out around the time the berries came out. So I will whoosh all of the prompts together to do the final page in my journal. So as for the beach journal, I've got heaps of room. So what we'll do is spend, time in here. So I've got the back cover there. The strawberries went on there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, heaps and heaps. So when I settle back down into normality again, I'll be able to really play in this and there'll be lots of projects that I can sort of refer back to the prompts, and I will probably pull prompts from previous that I want to explore again. So that's where I'm at with the Roxy Journal of Stitchery project. When I get back from Sydney and it's Christmas and I've got a little bit of time, I will revisit this project. So you won't see any videos for probably a good fortnight. And I'm busy getting the Christmas panel up to speed and done and filmed so that you guys can watch that while I'm away. The Just Because Quilt's filmed, the Botanical Beauties is filmed. Now I'm just doing my Christmas panel. So that'll keep you guys with something. And then when the dust settles, gosh, there's the dust again. Nothing like cleaning up a hay shed with a century of collectibles in there plus everything you need for every different crop that's ever been planted, then everything you need to maintain a farm, everything you need to maintain cattle on a farm. You could imagine it, guys. Oh my goodness. And I'm dealing with selling a lot of equipment, so I'm dealing with farmers that know way more than me, and they ask me questions and like, how many discs on your rotary hoe? And I'm like, oh, I better go check. So I race over, count all the discs. You know, it's just, it's been a ball. Like, we're having a ball. I've got some dear friends helping me, and my brother and my husband, and we're having a ball. We're camping over there overnight and having 2 days at it, and then come back, do a few chores around our place, and then heading back. So we are enjoying it. It's, yeah, a lot of memories. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyway, sidetracked. This I ordered ages ago. I saw it pop up as an advertisement, and it is from the company lightinabox.com. Now, I spotted it about the time I was doing the Fleur wood stitching, using some of the wools and going through my stash of wools and sort of pulling together little wools that are colours I love for future Fleur wood projects or just any projects. I've got big skeins of things, and I've got wools that just aren't suitable. They just don't pull through fabric really well. And I saw this pop up on a Facebook ad, I think, and I followed the link and I watched it for a bit and did a bit of research and realised that it was legit. So I ordered it. It was about $40 Australian, but it was on sale. So I just thought, I'm going to get it and just see what it's like. So if you have seen it, or you see it next year pop up, it's got potential to build your stock of colours. Now, I don't mind the quality, actually, and I'm digging the colours, and I love the fact there's only a little bit. These are the little bonus balls. Now, I haven't opened any of my advent calendar. I just haven't even had time. So I thought I'd do that with you, and we'll see what we got, and we'll see, is it worth $40? How does this work? Where's number one? Oh, right there in front of me. So you're watching this on the 5th. I'm filming it on the 3rd. So I'm going to go ahead and open 5 of them. So you ready? Let's see what we get. I bet they're all weird colours. Oh, very bright. But that's okay, because when we put some of these doilies together, brights is what we need. That's a pretty one. So little envelopes with a number. Little collection of wools, and I thought for the price, I thought it's worth it, and I'll just pop it into my drawer, and then next year when we do some stitching and I'm chasing, oh good, I'm getting different colours. That's great. I was hoping it wasn't just, you know, all brights, and there were some colours that are a little bit more subdued. That's great. Happy with that. Whoops, hang on. Whoa. 6. I'll just jigger that up. 3. Where's number 4? 21. 10. Number 4. Oh, keep your wits about you, girl. It's going to be trouble. Number 4. Here we go. Okay. We've got a repeat. That's all right. I don't mind a bit of neon. Number 5. Where are you? I'm going to have to organise these by numbers, guys. That's just going to mess with my head. 22. Where's 5? 11. That was 6. 7. Yeah, we're going to have to organise this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are we missing 5? There it is. Okay. I'm going to have to organise it. It's upsetting me. Black. There we go. And there's black. So there we go. We've caught up to the 5th of December, the day that you are watching that. A bit of fun. So I can open one of those each day leading up to Christmas. I don't mind myself a bit of an advent calendar. Which brings me to the next little share. look at this, the beautiful Tia. Now, Tia is one of my chums from the YouTube world. She has a channel, Calm Creations, and she is also one of our administrators on our Facebook site with the gorgeous Susanna from Vintage Blend Studio. And Tia has sent me a surprise in the mail. Look at this. It is a Advent journal. I never knew they existed. I'm obviously a bit slow in the journal world, making world. And she said there's heaps of videos out there. If you just type in Advent calendar journal, you'll see lots of different journaling tutorials. And look at this. Look at this. So the plan is to open 5 of these from Miss Tia. How exciting. I love a good Advent calendar. Number 1. So how do we open it? We just lift the lid. Oh, it's a butterfly stamp. Tia. Oh, is that just adorable? Oh, number 2. Where's number 2? Here's number 2. Oh, look. A little magnet on a little kangaroo. Oh, you're beautiful. Hidden in the lid, and cheesecloth. Always very handy. So let's pop that back in there. Isn't this just a great idea for the slow stitch buddies that we have? Putting little morsels in them. Number 3, you ready? Let's see. Ooh, look. Oh, I love these. I use some of these in the, hello Tia, use some of these in the strawberry work. Look. I had them from my scrapbooking days, and I pulled them out and thought they are just fantastic for the slow stitch elements. I'll pop you back in there. Oh my goodness. So what are we up to? Number 4. Where's number 4? There's 5. Number 4. You ready? Drum roll. Oh, look. Always handy. Gosh, it's amazing what you can fit in these little boxes. Number 5. Where did we say that was? It was over here. I love how they're all mixed up too. What have we got here? Oh, Tia. I love all of the, this is so handy. Oh, look at this. Handmade. Printed, ready to add to items. Gosh. Thank you, Tia. You're just adorable. Absolutely adorable. What a great gift, guys. I think we need to make one of these next year. I might make a note in the diary that maybe November we make ourselves a advent calendar something. I don't know. Let's put our minds to it and have a bit of a think. I'm sure we could do something slow stitchy. All right. Well, that's it. The rest are surprises for another day. There's number 6. Oh, I'm so tempted. Don't do it. Don't do it. She's going to do it. She's going to do it. Let's, one more. Just one more. Oh, a little bag with some bits in it. Oh, dear. Oh, look at the size. Handmade. Oh, look at those. Oh, my goodness. Tiny, tiny charms with handmade printed on them. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh, I suppose I better toddle off. I will add to the end of this video a little video showing my quilt. I'll leave them off. I'm just going to leave this somewhere and then come back to it, I think. Yeah, I want to leave them all off so I can see all my goodies, and then at Christmas I can pop my goodies somewhere. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. No, I won't, because I'm going to go and grab that quilt and we'll be back. I think I've shown you everything. 2 advent calendars, an update on the Roxy project, the So Be Created Gosling Quilt adventure coming, and Alice's Wonderland sampler quilt. So I'll put the details in the description box of everything, so that if you want to go do yourself a little bit of shopping, you can. And of course, the beautiful Debbie fabrics. All right, I will be back in a moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. So this is the quilt that I made years ago for my mum, and I dug out the pattern. Now, I'm not sure if this pattern is still available, but you might find it secondhand. Bareroots is the design. I believe they're an American company. Yes, California. There is a website, www.bareroots.com. And what it is lots of blocks with embroidery in between of flowers. Okay, and there's the layout of the little pattern. So if it catches your eye, it might be something you can track down. So I've made this quilt twice. I made it one for my mum in these tones and one for my husband's mum, but more pastel pink, pastel blue and a pastel green. There was a pack of fabric that I used that was just perfect for my mother-in-law, and this was a pack of fabric too at the time. Don't ask me the name of it. I've still got bits and pieces of it that I use in projects, but I just love the colours. So let me just open it up a little bit. I will put a big photo of the quilt at the end here. So the panel in the center is all of these little panels. I used an Osmoberg to stitch onto, and then you frame it out as you go. And then at the bottom of the quilt is a big panel that runs right across, and then lots of little scrappy bits. If I remember rightly, that was my own design. Yeah, the panel itself was quite small. Yeah, so that there is my own design. That's not on the pattern. The only thing the pattern is the center. So that's my design, that's my design, that's my design, and that's my design. Let me just check that, because I'm glancing at this photo and the quilt ends right at the end of all of these blocks. Yeah. So what I've done is, see that little there, that image? I've extended it. So it would have been around one of the blocks. Yeah, that's what I've done. See that there? I've just worked it again to go around the whole panel. So if you do find one and you're wondering why it's not looking exactly like mine, that's why. So to make it suit what type of bed does my parents have? They had a queen bed. Yeah, so just made it just that little bit bigger by padding it out. But the panels in the middle, okay. Does that make sense? So I'll just show you a few more of the internal panels. Isn't it pretty? And it's a lovely one to make because you can stitch all this in a piece and then piece it together. So it's a good one just to have it in a project bag if you like hand stitching, and having it all in the one colour makes it pretty easy. I have noticed that back in the day, this plastic, I'm going to say, I don't know what it was, it's invisible thread. It's given way everywhere. So I stitched it in this invisible thread, which was the trend at the time, and it's broken and is like there's bits of it hanging everywhere, which is a shame. If I had have quilted it properly with a needle and thread or on the sewing machine, it probably would have held up a bit better. Okay, so I will show you that in a bigger shot. The other one that I've made, which I have tucked away, but I just saw it when I pulled out the pattern, is this one. Isn't it pretty? And I did a similar colours, but more plaids, checks, and really nice. So that was just sitting with it in the box. So I thought, oh, I'll show you that as well. I'll dig it out and take a photo of it. So there'll be a photograph of the two quilts. So it looks like I'm going to make another quilt. Gosh, actually, as I was folding that onto the floor behind me, I noticed there was a tag on the back, which might give me a date. There we go. Christmas, December 2002. There you go. That's when I made it. Oh, look, there's bees coming off the bears. Oh, a gift from the heart. There you go, guys. Well, I will say goodbye and get those two photos for you so you can have a little look. I'll put all the details of everything I talked about in the description, like I said probably 5 seconds ago. And have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.